A while ago, I put a video online talking about the best method I know of learning the harmonic minor scale going all the way up the neck, every position of the 3 notes per string harmonic minor scale. And if you want to check that out, I'd thoroughly recommend that. It's about the quickest method I know of actually getting this scale memorized going all the way up the neck. And I'll put a link to the video up there as well. So one question came out of that actually, and that was, okay, that's the harmonic minor, so how do I use it? So I thought this week what I'd do is actually play the harmonic minor over 3 modes, if you like, 3 tone centers using the same harmonic minor. So I'm going to use the same position on the neck for all 3 modes as well, and talk about what I'm thinking about and actually play it over some chords as well, so you can actually hear it being used as well. Now what I've done as well is I've created a PDF to go with this video, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below, so download that, check that out as well. And actually there's a PDF associated with the original video that I put together as well, so that's worth checking out as well. Now before I get started on actually doing some playing, it's worth understanding why the harmonic minor exists. Why did it come about? Now the reason why it came about was composers were composing music in the minor key, and I'm going to do all of my examples in A minor actually. And like most Western music, the movement from chord 5 to chord 1 was one of the most important cadences in the minor key as well as the major key. So chord 5 would be E minor, chord 1 would be A minor. Now what the composers realised was, yes, there was a pull between E minor and A minor, but there was a stronger pull, if you like, between E7 or E major and A minor. And the reason for that was E major contained a G sharp, whereas E minor contained an E natural. A G natural. And so this pull from G sharp up to the A of A minor is one of the reasons why there's more of a pull from E major to A minor than E minor to A minor. Hopefully that makes sense. Now the problem was then, okay, these chords fit together nicely, but what do I do about the scale? Because my minor scale, my natural minor scale, contains a G natural, not a G sharp. And so what they wanted to do was to come up with a scale that had that A minor sound to it, but contained a G sharp rather than a G natural. And the easiest way of creating a scale that does that is to just sharpen all of the G naturals up to G sharp and create a leading note. And that created the harmonic minor scale. So all the harmonic minor scale is the natural minor scale, where the 7th degree is sharpened to create a leading note that pulls up to the tonic. So let's hear the harmonic minor scale over an A minor chord. So I'm going to play A harmonic minor over an A minor chord. So you should be able to hear that I've captured an A minor chord in my looper pedal. So that's given me a background chord, a background harmony to work against. And through all of these examples, I'm going to play the same position of the A harmonic minor, which is the one based around the 5th fret just here. Which is that position just there. So hopefully you know that, and if you don't know it, as I say, check out my other video, and that should teach you all the positions going up the neck. So as well as having that position in my head, because I'm playing over an A minor chord, I've got the chord in my head as well. So I kind of know where that arpeggio is, the A minor chord. And the other chord I've kind of got in my head, even though it's not a tone center, is this dominant 7th, the E major, the E dominant 7th chord just here, or E major chord. But more importantly, I've got that leading note in my head, because that's such an important note in terms of defining the harmonic minor. So I know where all of those those G sharps are and how they pull up to the root note. So when I start exploring this shape, I start exploring those G sharps as well. And as you can hear, it kind of wants to pull up to that A. And you'll find that the six, the flat six of the minor chord wants to pull down to the fifth, down to the E. And the other thing I like to do when I'm playing the harmonic minor is explore that interval, that tone and a half interval between the sixth, the seventh and the root. It was something that originally the composer was trying to avoid, but these days it's actually quite a nice little interval that kind of defines the harmonic minor scale. Okay, so that's the A harmonic minor over an A minor chord. Now, if you remember, the whole reason for creating the harmonic minor was to give a stronger dominant chord, to turn E minor chords into E major chords, to turn the dominant chord into a dominant seventh chord that pulls up to A minor. So actually it's more common to use the harmonic minor in its fifth mode, so playing it over E major in this case. You'd play A harmonic minor and that would give you the fifth mode of A harmonic minor. Now the fifth mode of A harmonic minor has got a few different names. It's called the Phrygian dominant, you may have heard of it called that. It's also called the Phrygian major scale. And also some people call it the snake charmer scale just because it's got this sort of Middle Eastern quality to it. But anyway, let's hear what it sounds like. So this is the A harmonic minor scale over an E major chord. Okay, so this time I've sampled an E major chord in my pedal. And this is the chord I'm going to play over. And the scale I'm going to use is the same scale as before. So exactly the same scale position as I used for the previous mode. But obviously I'm going to emphasize different notes within that scale because I'm playing a different mode. I'm playing over chord 5 this time. So the notes that I'm going to focus on are the notes from chord 5 or from E major in this case. And there's actually another chord as well that I like to explore, and that's F major. And the reason for that is if you look at the chord tones in E7 and F major, those two chords on their own contain all of the chord tones that you find within the Phrygian dominant scale. And all of the chord tones of F major are just one semitone above all of the chord tones of E major. And that means you have this kind of interesting pull when you play an F major chord tone. It kind of wants to pull back to the E major. Can you hear that? So that's 5. So I'm going from C, pulling down to B. And an F, if I play an F, you can hear that's kind of wanting to pull down, resolve down onto E. And A is pulling down to E. So that playing chord tones of F major, using that to create tension and resolve them back onto the E major chord tones is one of the things that I like to do when I'm playing over this mode. chords are resolving one to the other, creating tension and resolving. And also you're getting, hopefully you're getting a feeling of that kind of Middle Eastern kind of sound that you get out of playing the Phrygian dominant. And hopefully you can hear why it's been nicknamed the snake charmer scale. So that's the Phrygian dominant. Okay, so that's a Phrygian dominant. So the final mode I thought I'd demonstrate is a bit of a weird one. It's based on the 7th degree of the harmonic minor. So that's sharp and that G sharp, if you like. And it's not a scale that's normally used in rock music, the kind of music I play, but it's much more common in jazz music. And it's very common because it's a good scale to use over what are called altered dominant chords. But it's also a nice chord to use over a diminished 7th as well, so it gives you something different to use than the usual half whole tone type scales that you can construct as well. And that's how I prefer to use it. So I just thought I'd demonstrate it, show you how the harmonic minor works over a diminished 7th chord. So again, I'm just going to sample the chord and play over the top of it. Okay, so for the final mode, I've sampled a G sharp diminished 7th chord. And I should put a G sharp in the root like that. And this is a 7th mode of the harmonic minor. And I'm playing exactly the same scale as before, same scale position. Hopefully you can hear how that's fitting over the top. And again, I'm thinking about a different chord. In this case, I'm thinking about that diminished 7th chord shape. But in this particular position, because everything is so unstable, because it's got that diminished 7th kind of sound, you can kind of get away with playing most things over it. So that's it. Don't forget there's a PDF in the description covering all of this. And like I said before, if the harmonic minor is new to you, if you're not used to this or you don't know all of the scale positions going up the neck, then please check out my other video. As I say, it's probably the simplest method I know of learning the harmonic minor scale. So check that out if you've never done that before. Otherwise, we'll chat next time. Goodbye.